Mr. Doyle, great to see you.
And you too. Thanks for having me on.
How you been?
Been great, busy, but the best kind of busy. Lots of fun, doing fun stuff.
Yes, awesome. Well, listen, I woke up to about 20 messages, picture you and Russell Crowe there.
It was so nice. We had our second preview of Tale Harbour at the Charlottetown Festival on Monday night, and I was chatting to Russell on Sunday. He's filming a movie in Montreal currently, and he said, I think I can make it tomorrow after. So he shot on the movie on Monday, jumped on a plane, flew to Charlottetown, saw the show, had a great little hang, and he got on the plane, flew back, and shot again Tuesday morning. So it was really nice. It was great, you know, to have him. It was really nice for the other cast, of course, who've never met Russell and the star that big and stuff. But it was also just like as a bud, you know, it was really sweet to have that kind of support, you know.
Yes.
So
was really everybody nervous, like the other folks?
I didn't tell them.
Oh, that's smart.
I didn't tell any of the cast that he was coming.
Yeah.
As soon as we did bows, I walked off stage, said, hey, it's a little reception. A couple of buds of mine are in town. And then they all came in, and of course, you know, the gladiator was sat there and stuff. But it was really lovely, and I must say I was super grateful. You know, the way you would be if any friends come to your show, but especially in that regard, you know.
Totally.
It was lovely.
And he thought Charlottetown was pretty cool.
Yeah, he loved. I mean, he's a big Canada fan, you know, and I think he mentioned it on social media about how like he's fascinated with getting to see all the corners of it, and because he's he's lived in Australia, I think his whole life. He's just the size of Canada is not intimidating to him the way it is to other people, and he's used to traveling a lot. And yeah, no, he's been to St. John's a lot, and I was just really grateful for him to see the show, you know, and he spoke so highly of it and was really nice to everybody, and it was just great to to have that kind of support and interest for a little musical that we've been working on for a while. So cool, a great critic to have on your program, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's back up a bit. What is this show?
Tale Harbour is sort of a musical theater adaptation of a movie my people know called The Grand Seduction. Brendan Gleeson and a few other people in it. And it's about a small Atlantic Canadian town that loses its fish plant and is in the running to get a replacement plant that will save the town, but there's one major hurdle. They need a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week doctor, which is very hard to get, as we know. And in our musical, there's a visiting doctor, a young guy from London, England, who's coming to Tale Harbour. And Frank, the guy I play, convinces the town that they can convince this young visiting doctor that this little tiny fishing town is the place that he should spend the rest of his life. And hijinks and hilarity ensue, and they pull off a caper to try to convince him that this is the spot, you know. And we started developing the musical around 2018 or 19. It debuted 2022 at the Charlottetown Festival, and we did 70 or 80 shows of it between there and Newfoundland tour. And it was so successful that it broke a bunch of box office records over in Charlottetown, but then the big Mirvish company in Toronto dispatched a couple of people to go check it out, and they immediately wanted to forge a partnership with us to restage it and bring it to the big Mirvish stage in Toronto. And that brings us to the summer of 2025, where we remounted a reimagined version of it in Charlottetown, and it rolls to the big mighty Royal Alexandra Theatre in Toronto in September. So how do you feel coming back? You've already done it, and now it's here, but it's new and it's fresh, so it must seem a little different this time. It's exciting because I've been telling people that in 2022, because of COVID and all this stuff, like we had about 100 ideas for the show, and we got to do about 50 of them. And this one, we're getting to do about 97 of them. So it's like, I've been telling folks who saw it in 2022, like, it's not only okay that you come back and see it, but it's kind of be super interesting if you come back and see it, because you have the unique opportunity to see an idea go from being something to something much bigger and much more fully imagined, and it's, I think it'll be really fascinating for people to see it go from a small thing to a big thing. So you're Alan Doyle. We know you be singing. So tell us just a kind about the musical aspect. Too. Oh no! How does that go? I've been telling all my friends, not well. I've been telling all my friends in bands, I swear to God, because they always ask the same thing. Like, I think the acting part, they've seen me do that before, you know, and they're like, that's fine. But it's like they always say the same thing. Are you dancing in this? And I was like, yes, I do dance in it, and you should come see it, because if it goes well, it'll be amazing. Most likely, it probably won't go well, and it will be even more amazing. Like, you gotta, but trust me, I'm surrounded by people who do it very well and know how to do it. And but it's terrifying, you know. It's terrifying to walk into something like that, and this, you know, and the learning curve is so steep. But it's super fun, and I've always described it as like it's exactly as terrifying as it should be. You know, if you're really, really trying to challenge yourself all the time and to do, you know, new and exciting things, even when you get like in your late 40s, like I am, really late 40s. you know, I'm 56, you know, and it's like, it'd be really easy just to rest on your laurels and to, you know, go sing, you know, the same old songs and stuff. But I'm still so curious about learning how to do new things and to do fun stuff. And I'm surrounded by very cool people over there doing this amazing night out. And the first 2 previews have been excellent, and off we go.
So you're officially a triple threat then, is what you're telling me. Until you roll your ankle.
I think you better come see the show.
But it sounds very, I'm going to use the word Atlantic Canadian, of course, with the storyline and all of that. Does the music represent that too?
Yeah, most of the music in the show is very much based in, you know, this music that I grew up in, and heavily influenced, of course, by the music of Atlantic Canada and Irish and Scottish culture. Just like growing up on the southern shore in Newfoundland, you know, all my influences were traditional music from Newfoundland and traditional music from Ireland. And when I started touring around with Great Big Sea, you know, and seeing like the Rankins and seeing, you know, the different kinds of music that existed in the other maritime provinces, that all feeds into it as well. So most of the music that you'll hear in the show is, you know, humbly I would say, comes from the main influences of my life. The exceptions are our young doctor who's visiting from England. His music is kind of different. His music is very poppy and modern, and so there's a couple of real cool musical twists in the songs in the show that I'm quite proud of.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of official Saturday. You've done a few previews, but you're going to be official Saturday, and then you're living in Charlottetown for the summer.
So on the 21st, which is Saturday, we have our official opening, and then Tale Harbour runs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon, Friday night for the rest of the summer. And then we roll to the Mighty Mirvish stage in September. And because I have Saturdays and it's a few days off, I'm still doing a few festivals with the beautiful band. So I'm just over in Hubbard's doing a couple of gigs at the Shore Club. And then I think there's a festival in Fredericton, and then maybe a couple of things in Ontario and something in Alberta. And the Canada Games are back in Newfoundland this year. So there's a few things, There's lots to do. It's fun.
So besides the show, some Atlantic Canadians can see you in, you know, in
my usual,
in
my usual costume.
Yeah.
In my usual state. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And so this is, you know, at this point, especially since you did a run a few years ago, you spent a lot of time in Charlottetown. You have your own bank teller there now. You know, you've sort of ingrained yourself in the community, and you just love spending time in Charlottetown?
Well, you know, Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island, I think for Canada, I think for a lot of the world, it's like a favorite summer destination. Like people save up their whole lives to go to Charlottetown for a week in the summer. And this is my second summer getting to live there, you know, and like it's cool. You know, I miss home, to be honest with you. That's what I've been telling people is, I'll get in trouble for saying this, but what else? I always say, like, what's it like in PEI in Summerland? It's amazing. They got beaches, they got, you know, seafood, they got, like, you know, music and stuff. It's like, it's amazing. It's almost as good as Newfoundland.
Yeah, as a Newfoundlander, you're allowed to say that.
Their fish and chips is like number 2. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it at that. Alan, congratulations on another. What I know is going to be an amazing season.
Thank you.
Have so much fun.
Thanks, everybody.